Well, every single society that was based on Christian Western Judeo values is arguably a better society, and it should be uncontroversial to say that. Before we finish up, I wanted to ask you a few more questions. So I don't know how I became aware of you. It was very strange, but I was online and your channel just popped up. I don't even know how. It must have been a suggestion or something, and then I saw you were talking about Christians being reasonable. And that was actually going to be the basis of our conversation today, but that went out the wall.
Yeah. Don't get me started. I go off on all kinds of tangents.
As do I. But, okay, so this is a comment that Bill Maher, who sometimes I like, sometimes I dislike, love-hate relationship with Bill Maher.
Yeah.
But I like to hear different perspectives, and sometimes he's extremely wise. But something he said that I do oppose, and I want to just get your take on it, is that Christians are overall very intelligent people. He said something to that effect. But then he said, however, when it comes to faith, they wear blinders, and he can't understand it because he says they are this and they are that, and they're not bad people and they're kind and blah blah blah. But when it comes to faith, they have blinders on, and it's blind faith, and blind faith is unreasonable. So what would your take on that be? Because I actually don't think Christians are blind faith. I think Christians base a lot of their points and their worldviews on facts, and a lot of the facts today, like the nuclear family, husband, wife, and kids, it's just a fact that keeps you out of poverty now. It's statistically proven. It's just a fact now that children are more likely to succeed with a mum and a dad. And that sexual promiscuity, makes women more depressed, and it's just a fact that being in a relationship, there's so many things that just back up the Christian formulas that exist. There's so many Christian formulas. So what is your opinion on that phrase and on that mindset that Christians are blind faith, and that they can be reasonable, but then they also lack reason when it comes to the magical sky daddy?
Yeah, well, I would say, firstly, that I agree with Bill Maher that blind faith is a bad thing for anyone.
It is.
But I believe he's projecting, and this is what most atheists do. But in particular, atheists, at least Muslims, when you talk to a Muslim, they'll say, well, you believe in God, but you just got to stop believing in Jesus. That's, Allah will punish you, but at least you believe in God. Just ditch the Jesus part, as God. Muslims will say Jesus was a great prophet.
Yes. I had this conversation with the Imam of Peace. Yeah.
But we can share faith in God with Muslims, just not the Jesus part. Same with the Jews, But atheists are a different thing, because they believe that they have the trademark on and the monopoly on reason and on rationality, right? And they virtue signals, and they will I get into this all the time with my atheist friends, especially the really passionate new atheists who basically the only books they read are Christopher Hitchens, Richard Dawkins, Sam Harris, and Daniel Dennett. I can see, because I've read all these writers, and I'm seeing straight quotations being lifted from them, and it's they're great thinkers to a point, but then they're also they're sophists in another way, and so atheists are projecting because, I try this so many times, and they just never understand it. But atheism is a faith position, right? Atheism is a faith-based belief.
That infuriates them when people say that.
It does. It drives them nuts. And I always start there because it's that'll get them going. But it's very easy to explain it, and they have to do all kinds of mental gymnastics to get out of this. But it's very simple. Atheism, the strict definition, is no God, right? A, without, God. No God, right? So if you are not sure if there's a God, and you go, look, we can't prove it either way, so I remain agnostic. If you're agnostic, I commend you. That's an intellectually honest position. I can't prove, none of us can prove empirically that God exists, right? we have to have an experience of God to know it. And so many billions of people have had that experience that it's hard to ignore. But we can't prove it. We can't prove it by empirical scientific standards. So if you're agnostic and you're saying, look, I don't know, so I remain agnostic, that's the intellectually honest position. But an atheist has tried to co-opt the definition of agnosticism and put it into atheism. But that's not what it means. Atheism means there is no God. There is no God, and there is no reason to believe there is a God, right? And so they are making a statement, they're making a truth claim that the universe exists without God, and they cannot prove that. And in fact, I believe there's less evidence for the atheistic position, like less empirical scientific evidence for atheism than there is for theism. I think there's more empirical scientific proof of God than there is of there being no God.
I would agree.
And yet they hold to this position faithfully. They believe there's no God. Stephen Hawking died the other day.
76.
76, and like one of the great scientific minds of all time. And people started sharing their favorite quotations and stuff from him. And of course, all the atheists start putting up his quotation from one of his books that just says, "I believe the simplest explanation for the universe is that there is no God." And then it goes on with some other stuff. But I saw that getting shared around. So I said, I commented on a friend of mine who posted, like, he was a man of faith, as this quotation shows. He's like, what are you talking about? He's saying right there, I don't believe in God. I'm saying, yeah, I'm not saying he believes in God. I'm saying he's a man of faith. I believe there is no God. Is that a scientifically proven statement? Is he citing any evidence here? Is he offering anything other than a personal faith-based position? No. And atheists can't prove that God doesn't exist. So you start with that and they get really pissed off.
It's so funny to rile them up, which is mean to say because I have friends who are atheists who get shitty at me when I say it's funny. But I mean, it's just a little bit of trolling. It's not like we're persecuting them.
I'm not just trolling either. Like I'm dead serious, and I'm trying to point out that I have come to faith rationally. I've come to faith intellectually, and I've come to faith by looking at the evidence, and also including my subjective spiritual experience, which I understand most people will reject it. They'll just go, "It's a dream, it's an illusion, it's whatever." Like the subjective. Yeah, it is. And the Case for Christ covers most of the arguments that you'll read in other apologetics books. But I've got a couple of recommendations here. This one by Timothy Keller.
Send it to Melbourne.
The Reason for God, right? This is Timothy Keller. It covers a lot of the same sort of evidences and arguments, both empirical, scientific, like the cosmological argument, the teleological argument, which is the fine-tuning of the universe and things like that. Covers a lot of the same sort of stuff as the Case for Christ, but it goes further because it's not just focused on the Gospels and whether they're true. Now, another one, two others actually. These two are fantastic. There's Cold Case Christianity by J. Warner Wallace. Now, this is great. Like, if you like the Case for Christ, read this. This is better than the Case for Christ, and it covers the same topic. But why it's better is Lee Strobel was a journalist and an investigative journalist, and he was involved in a lot of crime investigation and stuff. But he was a journalist. But J. Warner Wallace was an investigator, a detective for the police, and he spent most of his career doing murder investigations and cold case murder investigations, some of which were 30 or 50 years removed, where new evidence emerges and then they look at the old evidence that's no longer available. And so he goes through the Gospels as if it's a murder case, a cold case murder.
I've heard of him.
And he goes through the whole process that he would go through as a detective, all of the evidence, circumstantial evidence, and he picks it apart. And he started this process as an atheist, as somebody who ridiculed all his Christian friends, etc. And he came out on the other end as Christian because he's like, well, in any reasonable court of law, all of the evidence, historical, circumstantial evidence would actually support that the Gospels are true. And this was the point that I reached where I believed in Jesus as God. Because I started out my journey. It was a combination of those three books, really. The third one was On Guard by William Lane Craig, which is it's a handbook for Christians who already have faith, who want to be able to defend faith. Yeah, so it's a really good tool, that one. They're great books. And there's a whole bunch more. I read like 25 books on Christianity in about 4 months. I was just like hungry and I needed to know. And yeah, I just consumed it all. But I reached a point somewhere along that line where I went from going like, okay, Jordan Peterson made me realize that the Bible is not intended to just be factual truth from start to finish, that I can look at things allegorically, metaphorically, mythologically, psychologically, and empirically, historically. There are all different ways to look at it. And so I just need to look more carefully. And so I started reading the Gospels with that in mind, trying to find transcendent archetypal truth in it. But when I started reading these books that actually present the Gospels as historical truth, and reading the books and reading about the books, and then I reached a point where it's like, okay, so we know now, like there's no question that the apostles died believing that Jesus was God, and they were tortured. They were tortured over many years. They had their tongues cut out. They had their eyes poked out. They were imprisoned. They were scourged. They were ultimately beheaded, most of them, and not one of them gave up their faith. Right? And through that torture, where their persecutors would have been saying, "Come on, you can do it." I watched this movie called Silence last year. I think it was a Martin Scorsese film, and it's got Liam Neeson in it. It's about the Jesuits who traveled to Japan to try to spread the gospel to Japan, and they were martyred for it, ultimately, most of them, and they were tortured. It was like, going back into European history to the early church days in Rome, what the Japanese did to them. But seeing how much the torturers just want you to give up the faith and publicly decry it and to say, okay, yeah, I give up, the pain is too much, it's all a lie, Jesus was just a man. That's what they wanted. None of them did it. They endured horrendous torture. And then after the apostles, the early church fathers, and throughout hundreds of years of Christian history, the same thing kept happening. Martyrs occurred because they believed so deeply. But the thing that made me really pause was going, right, the apostles, these were the men who witnessed the life and deeds of Jesus firsthand. They saw these things, and people do not die for their own lies. Now, people die for other people's lies, The Muslim extremists who, do suicide bombings and stuff, they're dying for lies that have been taught to them as truth. And because they haven't witnessed anything to contradict it, they can believe it, right? And even Christian extremists or, whatever, like Christian, Christian people like that, who, I really shouldn't call Christian because it just doesn't seem to be what they are. But put it this way, it would be harder for me as somebody who's come to faith from reading books, some of them ancient, and having a personal experience. I've never witnessed God with my own eyes so directly as the apostles who witnessed the life and death and resurrection of Jesus. So if I were to be put on the torture rack, my faith would be tested, and it would be, I pray that God will have the grace and mercy to give me strong enough faith that if I'm ever put through that my faith will hold. I pray that my faith will hold. But that the apostles who witnessed all of this went through that to death and never gave up on Jesus means that they truly believed what they were saying. Now, that doesn't prove what they were saying was true. But I reached this point where it's like, well, they believed it. And I cannot reconcile why all of these people who went off to different corners of the Mediterranean and were tortured in similar ways, why none of them changed the story? Why none of them gave up on Jesus? It doesn't make sense unless it was true. And so I reached it as a reasonable conclusion,
Yes. So this is what people like Bill Maher, I think, fail to acknowledge, because it does take great faith to be an atheist, and that sentence is counterintuitive in the mind of an atheist. I don't get how that makes any sense, but they're putting their faith in humanity. They're putting their faith in government, and they're putting their faith in the concept that, well, there is no God, but we just got here because we just got here.
And we are made to worship. God made us to worship and believe and have faith in something. And if we don't have And if we don't worship God, we will worship idols, we will worship ourselves, we will worship the state, we will worship pleasure or hedonism, and this is where the atheists don't realize that they worship things.
They just they use a different term. It's just the mind is slightly altered. It's like Stefan Molyneux was a very hard critic of Christianity about 6 to 7 years ago. He said so on Dave Rubin, and he goes, I regret my militantism because it was too vitriolic, because now I'm noticing that people of faith bring something to a society that is needed. So, but people like Bill Maher, who I think are reasonable, but still stuck somewhere that they can't get out of it. And they say that about us, but we are forced in this society to wear bifocals. We have to know how to be in the world of the world, and we also have to retain our moral consciousness and our Christianity. It's a very hard line to teeter on. And
absolutely.
I fail all the time. I think things in my head I shouldn't think, and I say things out loud I shouldn't do, and I'm a flawed Christian. I'm a bad Christian. I'm not a great one at all. But I have a standard that I'm trying to live by, whereas people like Bill Maher just, I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
Well, look, it seems like militant atheists like Bill Maher and Sam Harris and these people, the four horsemen of the atheist apocalypse. All those guys, they seem to want a world where God
is dead.
where God has no role in society. Where if you believe in God, just shut your mouth and keep it to yourself. It should have no part in our culture. It should have no part in our laws, right? And they seem to want that world. Well, that world happened, and it was Soviet Russia, right? And it was Maoist China.
It was a success.
We've had atheist societies where religion is persecuted and shut down and has no place in the law, and where atheism, or specifically the belief that there is no God, is the axiomatic principle on which the society is built.
But they would argue that was co-opted by
they'd argue all kinds of crap, but communism is inherently atheist, and Marx was inherently atheistic, and explicitly like we need to get rid of God, and then we can build the perfect society, right? And so it was tried. It's been tried time and again, and it's always ended in bloody death and murder of millions of people. It's happening right now in Venezuela, and the reason for that is not that they got it wrong or it was co-opted by bad ideas or whatever. The reason is that a godless society will worship something. Everyone worships something. If you're not worshipping God, if you're not worshipping the source of all being, the pinnacle of the mountain of truth and goodness that is God, then you are worshipping yourself or you're worshipping your state. And very quickly that will be corrupted. Or you're worshipping your culture more than God himself. And whatever it is, as soon as we turn our worship inward on the world, well, that's where Satan comes out to play. And that's where malevolence and evil dominate.
He's been playing for a while.
Yeah, and that's what he is banking on, is our rejection of God and our worship of ourselves. And this goes all the way back to the Garden of Eden, the rejection of God and the worship of ourselves. The serpent said, "You'll be like God. Eat the apple. You don't need God. You can be a God." Just the other day I was having a debate with a prominent libertarian atheist in America on Facebook, and about abortion, which seems to come up a lot. She's very pro-abortion, and I was debating with her about that. And this other lady who I don't know piped in. This is the point of the conversation where I just went, it's not going to be productive after this, so I'll bail. But she came in saying, any man who's basically saying that we shouldn't be able to get abortions, and I never said it should be illegal. I'm just saying, I was talking about it morally. Is it morally okay? And she came in, men who say that we can't get abortions are just jealous because we are the creators of life and not them. And, as soon as men found out that the sperm was involved in the process of procreation, they decided that, the woman was just the ground and they were planting a seed. But the truth is that women are the bringers of life and men are not, and we're gods, and they're jealous of that.
Are you serious?
Yeah, she actually declared that women are gods.
Tattoos and hairy armpits as well.
I didn't even look at her profile picture. I didn't want to after that. I was just like, this doesn't go anywhere good from here. And you know, this is an unwinnable fight when somebody is so entrenched. But this is the self-worship of feminism, of neo-Marxism, of postmodernism, of communism. This is the godless. The way that it is when people are godless is they will worship something.
The silver lining to all of that is that while YouTube years ago, say I think it was about 5 to 6 years ago, was a bashing Christian fest, it has shifted now to Christians who would not have been aligned with the likes of Joe Rogan, the way Stephen Crowder and Joe Rogan are now not one, but like they have similar interests now. The positive is that people like Stephen Molyneux and all these type of people are now joining forces with those who are admittedly Christian.
Yeah, even Jordan Peterson, you know, Jordan Peterson, who, you know, people think he's Christian, but you know, it's funny last night when I went to get his
brand of Christian.
He is, but he won't call himself Christian. It was.
He did on with Dave Rubin. He said I'm Christian, and then Ben Shapiro's. It was a Christian versus a Jew. That's how they sort of.
Right. Oh, okay. Oh, I need to watch this then. Yeah. So he was more direct about it.
Think about it. Yeah.
I will. Yeah.
But he didn't say I am a Christian, but Dave Rubin said you are Christian, and he said yes. You are a Jew. Yes. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I do remember that. Yeah, but
so he didn't outrightly say it, so you're sort of right.
Yeah, it means, and again, you know, he would say, if you probed him, he'd say, well, it depends what you mean by Christian. Obviously, he's a Christian apologist. He's getting out there and he's preaching the word, and he's saying, look, there's goodness and truth in this, and don't ignore it. You know, you're making a mistake if you think the Bible is a joke. That's the main thing he's saying. But last night, when I went and got the book signed by him after his show, I shook his hand and I said, Jordan, I'm James. Nice to meet you. Thank you so much for your work. You were my gateway drug to Christianity. And he laughed. He said, oh no. He said, oh no. And I don't know if he was just being funny or, if he was like, oh. I know. And I said, well, it was from nihilism. And he goes, oh, well, that's definitely a step up. And he said, and how's that going for you? And then he looked me in the eyes, and I said, it's going really well. It was life-saving. Thank you. And he's like, good.
That's good. He's very humble.
He's a beautiful man. So yeah, but I know what you're saying. There's all of these atheists and like people on the border, and even me. Like for last year, I was still an atheist, but I was very pro-Christianity. I was like, Christian culture needs a comeback.
Andrew Bolt is an atheist who is pro-Christian values. I love Andrew Bolt. I'm trying to interview him, but it's really a struggle.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, but yeah, there's this resurgence of sympathy for Christianity, and I was definitely in that camp, and it led me as I studied further and I did my reading and started reading the Gospels and started praying, it led me to faith in Christ. So I think that this is how it begins. There's this bubbling of Christian sympathy that could turn into a revolution in the West of a resurgence of Christian values. We could actually be a Christian civilization again in 100 years' time, maybe.
It could, yeah. I feel like it's anyone's guess at this point, but it could deteriorate to get a lot worse. But I think there's such a strong consciousness. I was going to say before, and I forgot to mention it, that with the plebiscite, 40% of Australians voted no and 60% voted yes. That's almost half. So that shows that not everyone is united with this whole leftism, this whole regressive thinking.
But a 10% margin is pretty big in a country of 20 million people. Yeah, so it's not like the margin between Trump and Clinton was closer than that. Like a 10% margin is big, and it shows that. I think more than anything, I think it shows that we're a culture of compassion mixed with complete political illiteracy. That people have good intentions, in the West still, and you go out on the streets in Australia, and people are good here. People are good-hearted. People have good intentions, and they want the best for others, and they're peaceful, and they don't know that they're like this because of Christianity. They don't know that, like, the things that we take for granted, our normal way of life here, the fact that we can go out on the street and there's a level of trust and harmony, they don't know that this is
values.
this comes from Christianity, which comes from Judaism, and it's a gift from God. That if God had not revealed himself to Moses, right, that the world would be pagan barbarianism. We take for granted the things that God has given us through our history and through our culture that come from Christ and from God. And so Australia is still a Christian country. It just doesn't know it. And it's stopped reading the word. Yeah, but I mean, like, it's the result of Christianity. And so people have compassion and kindness in their hearts, and this is why the welfare state was able to be created, is because people want the best for others. They don't want to abandon their neighbours, but they're politically illiterate, they're uneducated, or they're indoctrinated, and the rampant, evil, satanic, communistic, Marxist left have come in and said, hey, we can take advantage of people's lack of knowledge here, and we can turn their Christian values around and use it as a weapon against them. And so we need to take those weapons back. We need the sword and the shield of the Bible and of God, and we need to get out there and be fighting this battle in the streets with our words and with our hearts.
Yes, but unfortunately, the reaction on the other side is to just shut it down. It's not to have a structured, respectful discourse. It's just shut it down. So that needs to change, and hopefully people like Jordan Peterson, Milo Yiannopoulos, Ben Shapiro, Stephen Crowder can...
Even Stefan Molyneux, as you said, just with his respect and sympathy and his brilliant rational philosophy. Yes. Yeah, eyes are... Yes, that's right. We're part of it. We're part of the conversation, and we're moving this world. One thing really profound that Jordan Peterson said last night, which I guess is lifted from his book, which I haven't read yet, was he said that we're not all, we're not 7 billion people all lined up in a row. We're not just affecting the person next to us, right? Each of us are part of a network. We're a node in a vast network, and each of us knows about 1,000 people. And more than that by the time we die. Like, we'll have met and interacted with and communicated with more than 1,000 people in a meaningful way. And each of those people know 1,000 people. So you go 1,000 times 1,000 times 1,000, you're 2 degrees separated from 1 billion people, right? And that's a powerful notion, to realize that this conversation... Last night blew my mind. I just arrived, and I was walking in and talking to my wife, and a guy came up behind me and he's like, oh, James, I recognized your voice. And I turned around, and it was David Pello, who has the Church and State podcast, and he's a Brisbane guy who is doing what we're doing. So he recognized my voice because he'd watched some of my videos, and I remembered him from one of his, so we chatted for a bit. And then as I was walking out of the lecture at the end, a guy ran up behind me and he's like, wait a sec, James, right? And I said, yeah. And I didn't know this guy at all. And he goes, thank you. Your video about Jordan Peterson being your gateway drug to Christianity got me into Jordan Peterson, and I'm here tonight. So thank you. I know. I was like, just after hearing this stuff about the network, it's like, we're small time, you and me, like, we've got our little channels, we've got this slowly growing following of people who are interested in the conversations we have, but we don't know how much one thing we say or one video we make is seriously touching the life of another person, and that ripples out from there. Yeah, but trust me, you don't know it, but trust me, it's happening. People are looking at your videos. You've got hundreds of views on a lot of your videos, and they're meaningful conversations. All it takes is for 1 or 2 people to be seriously touched by what you're sharing, and you are making a ridiculous impact on the world that's immeasurable and timeless. So keep at it. Just keep going. It's great. It's great stuff. And I'm not gonna stop. I might stop if they put a gun to my head, but hopefully it doesn't come to that.
Oh, I don't think I'm going to stop either. I do. Let me just finish up, and then we can talk about that.
By all means.
Sorry. Thank you so much, James Fox Higgins. Such a official name. I feel unworthy to say it out loud, but it's been so good to have you on and have this huge discussion. I feel like we can go on so many other tangents if we really wanted to, but maybe...
I feel like we will.
Oh, yeah, next part 2 can be on yours.
Okay, that sounds good. Thanks so much for having me, dear.
No worries. See you later. All right.
Bye.
What were you going to say? Sorry.
Right. The interview is gone.
It's gone.